G'day everyone, Gareth here from Organic Growing Melbourne. Just thought I'd do a follow-up video. We've got some changes happening this time of year in the garden. We're at the end of winter and things are starting to wake up. One thing I've done since my last video is I've pruned my kiwi fruits. As you can see, I pruned mine back pretty heavily, just to sort of keep it at bay, because they are very vigorous, and obviously you need two of them, a male and a female. So I pretty much pruned mine almost like you would a grapevine. You could go harder than this, but we'll see how this goes. And this one here being a lot younger female compared to these ones, which are a few years old now and producing fruit. Hopefully this season we'll get lots and lots of fruit. And we've got the dragon fruits here, which pretty much come to a standstill this time of year. I've had a little bit of new growth here, but not much happens this time of year. And this time of year, actually, they start looking really bad. You start to get some rust just here, lots of rust here, look. And when the weather warms up, I'll prune that back beyond it, and then she'll come back, and hopefully we'll get some flowers off it this year. A little bit of rust here. It all comes back though. You can actually cut them out. Alright, yacons are all gone, harvested. Didn't get to eat them all, as you can see. There's still some I've just let here breaking down as a compost. And obviously bananas aren't going to be looking too good until the weather warms up and we start getting that new growth and we don't get any more frost. This is all frost damage, this. When we get into the warmer month, I'll prune all the dead stuff off so we get all the new beautiful looking banana leaves, and it will start coming back again. But here's what's waking up first, or one of the plants that are waking up first is the plum. They just pushed out some flowers, as you can see. But it looks as though this is gonna, I've pruned this back heavily as well. I've kept it away from the house and sort of tried to train it back away from the house and away from the bananas. And then we've got the tamarillos here, which are still holding on to the fruit, and all starting to shoot out some new growth here. This was all damaged by the frost, and it's just starting to push out some new leaves now. And same with this one. See all this beautiful new growth coming out here. I do get problems with aphids, as you can see. Even now we're getting aphids on these, so this has to get sprayed a few times through the season. I can even actually see some flowers developing just in here, but all looking really good. The ginger I haven't even pruned back yet, as you can see. I'll have to get into that. Another one that starts to wake up really early is the mulberry. This particular one is the red Chatut mulberry. As you can see, heaps of new buds starting to come through the mulberry. The Grimmy Chummer's not really doing much. This isn't going to do much until we warm up. It's had a bit of frost damage. We've had some pretty intense winds as well. And the Brazilian cherry has also suffered a little bit of frost damage. Not much though. See, the leaves are all falling off that are partly dried. And the chirimoya, which I've just left out here in the elements, pretty much lost all its leaves. Again, I'll prune this right back. And then we've got the almond. This is the dwarf almonds, self-pollinating. And as you can see, this particular flower here came out a week and a half ago, and then you can see there's a lot more flowers pushing out now. So excited about that one. Obviously the bamboo, once again, the bamboo didn't start shooting up until really late in the season, and it seems to be doing that. It gets later and later each year, and of course all these new ones that came out all get frost damaged and they just die off. They've got to get quite big. And as you can see, this particular one here has grown up, and then with the severe wind we lost the tops of them again. So 2 years in a row I lost the tops to all the bamboo. You can see another one right up there. They would have towered above these ones. You can see the one, see how thicker that is coming down. There's another one here, new one here. We lost the top of it as well. Never mind. Hopefully next year we'll get some even bigger ones. Sort of refurbish the garden beds here. All the onion varieties which haven't done anything. The potatoes have decided to wake up. These potatoes were just put back in when I last harvested, and they've been in here through the whole winter, and I've just left them in there. And the majority of what I've planted them in this year, as you can see, is lots and lots of mulch. That's all I've put in there. But the bottom garden bed is probably nice rich soil. Everything else I just put mulch in it to see how it would go. Another experiment to see what I can grow potato in. I've normally put straw or sugarcane mulch on that as well. Garlic, which I've neglected, and I haven't put anything in here yet. Nothing planted in here yet. I might wait until a little bit later, start of spring, to start planting some stuff out in here. And the most exciting thing is the bacon avocado is starting to get huge flower buds all over it. And remember, this bacon I put in the ground. I haven't had it for a year. I put it in the ground, and I have got 2 bacon. This was in the ground for less. So it's a grafted variety. It was in the ground for. I owned it for less than a year, and I put it in the ground to see how it would go, and to see whether it would survive the elements, being the frost over winter. And no signs of frost damage at all, but we are going to get lots and lots of flowers off it this year. Look at this, the bacon variety, which is a bee variety. But I'm really happy with the outcome of that. I would still recommend, if you buy a grafted variety avocado, is to keep it in the pot for 2 years to create a canopy first, so it can protect itself from the elements. I have not fertilised this at all this year. Along with all my other plants, I've used no fertilisers. All I've used is mulch, compost and worm castings. And that is it. And worm tea. Everything I now use, I create here. And I think I mentioned in my last video, that's the plan, is to move away from any fertilizers from garden centers. I want to create everything myself, and your plants are going to be really healthy just by using mulch. And I'll show you here the mulch that's broken down. I need to get heaps more, but you can see here how it's broken down, and we're just left with beautiful rich compost, mulch and soils. But we'll come back to the grape here, which obviously this isn't going to wake up for quite some time. But again, pruned right back to just 2 main leaders. One will train around that side of the chicken coop, and the other one this side, and then fill this area up. It'll keep it cool for the chickens in summer as well. We have the apple, which isn't doing much this time of year. It's one of the last ones to sort of start to develop any buds and flower, and I haven't treated any of the fruit trees this year for any type of diseases or fungus like root rot. I want to see how we go without doing anything at all. And then we've got the avocado in the chicken coop, which this is the Fuerte avocado, and I think we're getting small evidence of some flower buds, possibly. I won't go in there, I don't want to let the chickens out at the moment. But this is another fertilizer I'm going to use. I continually fill up the chicken run with hay, sugarcane mulch, and I let the chickens till it, and as you can see, it starts to break down relatively quickly, mixed in with the chicken poo. And then I will use that, I either put it in the compost bins, this particular one to feed the bananas, and but I will also use it to refurb my veggie cat patch. Alright, we'll move on to the Davidsons plum. This one's really surprised me. I thought the frost and our winters would completely brutalise this, but as you can see, apart from, I mean, that's not necessarily frost, I think maybe one of the palm fronds landed on here, and it did hit it at some stage, but looking really good. You will possibly get some fruit off this this season, but we'll see how it goes. The bananas, again, all damaged by the frost, as you can see, but I promise these will all come back and look really, really healthy. I've got some pups I've got to remove here. This little one here, I think there's another one at the back there, and then all of them have got multiple pups coming through, which you can, if you get some of the roots off that, we could pot it up and create another banana plant. The Hass, again, this is starting to develop a lot of flower buds, and holding on to some beautiful fruit, as you can see. More up here, a lot more this year, but I believe they're a little bit smaller than last season's, although these ones are an average size, but some of them are quite small, and we definitely got more this year. And some of them are in massive clusters, as you can see, a lot smaller. And I also had 2 avocados, one right up against the fence and one right up against this tree guard that I've put around the avocado, from some avocados that fell off last season, so they decided to shoot up. I could have grown them, but it, as you can see, there's another avocado here that's fallen off. It could have possibly come off this season's crop, and some huge clusters up here. Really excited. Another big cluster here, and then under here I'm estimating 200 plus on the tree. We move over to the orange now. We've got 1 orange left. I've eaten a couple already. I think we only had 3 on it this year, but you can see all the new flower buds starting to develop. They're very small. I hope the camera will show them. But lots and lots of flowers, but very, very little fruit. Strawberries have survived all winter. I'll leave them there just to do their own thing. Again, we've got the nectarine here, which I butchered because of the brown rot, which devastated 2 years of crop, and I treated it 3 times through the winter, and it didn't help. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to butcher it, see how we go with that. Obviously I'm not going to get any fruit this year. It might be even 2 years before I see any fruit, but I'm hoping by then, naturally, the spores from the fungus would have all died off and gone. Cross fingers. And again, I did it with the plum because that was always infected because it was next to the nectarine, so the plum also was infected, and I brutalized that as well. And this is all the new growth we got back. And we've got a cocoon just here. You get lots of these around here in Melbourne. And then we move over to the cherry, which is getting on now, and it's really not produced much fruit at all. Here's the other apple tree, which is now only one side of it. This produces a fairly good crop of apples. I've had to cut the side of this one out because we ended up selling our spar. So we just got one side of this tree now, and there's a few little buds, but nothing's really woken up on the apples yet. And same with the pears. The pears aren't really going to do much. A little bit of development here. This one did produce fruit, but they fell off. And the other one produced fruit and gave us about 6 beautiful, beautiful pears. The ice cream bean, have a look at that. You'd think it would be dead. This suffered the most from the frost we had at the start of the season, start of winter, and it has suffered massively. I've done a scratch test. There is still some life in it, but this will also get heavily pruned as well, just to revive it as well. I didn't expect it to be affected by the frost so much, which is why I actually decided to put it in the ground, and it's doubled in size in one season. Probably closer to triple in size in one season, and then of course we got the frost, and it's affected it all the way back. Even that bit looks dead, and it's green just there, so there's still life in there. The other pear, which has started to produce fruit for me in the first year being in the ground, and we've got the other cherry here, which again I believe is a dwarf variety, the Stella, mainly because it's sort of behaving like a dwarf plant. And we've got the other plum here, which is just starting to develop some signs of life. You can see here, these ends here. Alright. We'll go have a look at the other veggies out here. Again, like I mentioned, I haven't cut my ginger back yet. I'll get into that very, very soon. Alright, so we've harvested the broccoli, and I kept some of the little heads on it. You can see where I harvested it here. I kept the heads on it. I want it to flower and seed for me, and try and get my own seeds rather than purchasing them all the time. Same with the lettuce, but hasn't really done much, to be honest. Refurbed the garden bed. We've got some sugarcane mulch on top of here. Under here we have a beautiful, beautiful soft soil. Sugarcane mulch will break down on top of that, and then we can plant into that. And of course, your asparagus bed. If you go back to one of my videos, I refurbed this garden bed using all my compost. I think two of the containers of the worm castings. I cut all the ferns back and laid them down on the bed. Compost, mulch, and it's very, very rich and got lots and lots of worms. Just at the top here, it's still very wet and still breaking down. But as soon as the weather warms up, and doing that, it warmed up and caused the asparagus to start to grow again, which I'll cut back before the weather warms up again. But funny, this particular one here has actually decided to grow along the ground, as you can see. So yes, asparagus doing really well. I think I put 3 varieties in here. I think the purple, so there's a purple variety, the white variety, and then the just the green variety. I think the Mary Washington, I think they call them. So that's that. I'll just quickly take you out to the front. All new carport. That's why I've been busy. Alright, here we go. Mangoes. You can see a bit of frost damage, but doing surprisingly well. Also, we got the mandarin, which I've been eating, and the blueberries, which are now getting pollinated by the bee right there, if you can see that. And it's got some blueberries on it already. This is an evergreen variety, and this is flowered continually for the whole year. It's and you can see the buds developing on here. We're going to get a massive amount of blueberries just on this one here. And then we got the other varieties here, which are deciduous, and we're just starting to see some life out of these as well. With all the other blueberries, they're all the same. My other mandarin here, you can see some new growth, very, very small buds. And the pomelo, which every year I'm beginning to think it's not a pomelo. They're not getting any bigger, the fruit. The leaves to me don't look as though they're from a pomelo tree. But never mind, we've got the black sapote here, which is getting worse and worse every time I look at it. It's holding onto the fruit. We've got some frost damage here too. I'm hoping it'll come back. Alright, and then we've got the, wait for that car to go past. We've got the Jabba de Carver here, which has always looked pretty good since I've put it in the ground. Maybe we'll get some flowers off it this year, not too sure. Buddha belly, bamboo, and of course you're probably going to notice this, but this is yes, the house is on the market. We're selling. I'm not going to tell you where we're going. That'll all be revealed very shortly. Alright, we'll come through here now. Hibiscus. Kind of trying to wake up. I might give them a prune. We've got the two passion fruits here, Panama Gold and the Panama Red, all starting to bring out some new growth just here. Little bits of, well, I can't see any evidence, a little bit of new growth just here. I've deliberately planted these under the under the trees here to protect them from the frost, being a tropical passion fruit. I think they would have gone back a long way if I'd just put them out in the open. This particular fruit tree here is the one I rescued from a client of mine who didn't want it anymore. It's heavily diseased, and I protected the trunk here. This was a huge open wound, and it's actually, I protected it with like a tree guard. It's like a Vaseline sort of. I filled the wound and then just coated it, and it's healed up really nicely, almost closed up. And this is just starting to wake up as well. A little bit of bud coming out here. And another one that's opened up is the white Chatoot mulberry, and that's looking mighty good. Looking really good. And we've got the Cara orange, which there's some very small evidence of some life. And then you've got the Longan here, which won't do anything. There's a little bit of new growth coming through, but not much. And then the white sapote, which will be inundated with flowers fairly soon. Little tiny flowers they are, with one of the most delicious eating fruits, I believe, in my opinion. Absolutely love the fruit. Alright, so that's a quick garden tour, and you probably noticed I didn't show you all of my tropicals that I had in my pots, and there's a reason for that, and it's probably quite obvious, because we're selling the property. I've actually sold all of my tropical, subtropical, rare fruits, and the only thing I have left in the pots now is my cherimoya, my blue Java or ice cream banana, and my 2 dragon fruit, or 5 dragon fruit, 3 in that one, 2 in that one. And of course I've got a lot of hibiscus over here, which I'm giving away to some of my friends. And of course this dragon fruit's in a pot, but that's not going to move. And this is another one that's going to start suffering from rust. You can see up through there's a bit of rust on there. The old flowers are still on here. But yes, we're selling and we're moving, and I'd love to tell you where it is we're going and what it is I'll be creating, but I want to keep it a secret, and I want to keep it a surprise. But it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to start making some videos in the new food forest. And of course there'll definitely be avocados, my favourite fruit. Good old avocado. Alright, I think we'll wrap this one up. stay tuned for the transition of organic growing Melbourne to a name I have not come up with yet. I guess it all depends on where the location will be. But stay tuned, because the new channel will be starting from scratch, and together we'll create a food forest. Alright, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Don't forget to give us one of these. Leave some comments. I'm happy to comment back, but I'm not telling you where I'm going, so don't bother. Alright, take care everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.